As he clocks into work at Villanova's student cafeteria, Christian Romberger, who goes by Chris, does it with a smile.
3, 4, 5 of these.
5 Wheaties?
He checks the salt and pepper shakers and restocks the shelves.
So the first one is Rice Krispies. We need 2.
We found out he also loves to joke around.
Can you find them, please?
Chris is a 19-year-old with Down syndrome and autism. His mother says she never imagined he'd be able to do all this on his own.
He was having a lot of shutdowns at different jobs and unable to work a 3-hour shift.
Chris has been here since October, and the job started off small. At first, he was just washing dishes, but now he does up to 6 tasks a day, and he's even started his own business.
So here's the money in here.
Chris sells comic books and created this business, Comic Man, with his job coach, Chris Haas.
Chris likes Spider-Man, so I took him to a comic book shop, and he loved it.
They couldn't afford to start their own store, so came up with this idea instead.
We called a manufacturer in Georgia where they make custom vending machines, and they made one for us. So this is the world's first comic book vending machine.
Chris is in charge of the upkeep and replacing the comics, and while it's only been standing here for a few weeks, Chris has already sold several of his comic books.
When he was younger, we didn't know what would be his future.
But seeing him run his own business is something his mother says is a sign of how much he's truly grown.
Independence for him, maturity, and just the ability to, I think, again, function really without us.
Chris says he plans to open more vending machines in the near future. Ileana Diaz, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Tiffany. Oh my. Heavenly stores we associate with places like Beverly Hills, not the boardwalk. But that's right where you can find them, here at the Pier Shops at Caesars.
We'll win big and then we'll come back and really shop.
Most of us will need those winnings. Price tags are generally sky high, too, including this pair of shoes at Shooby-Doo.
And they made 240 pair. I was lucky enough to get 12 of them, and we have 2 left.
The store's owner says Lady Gaga has a pair priced at $1,600. Out of your price range? Fret not, there's a sweet deal around the corner.
We always start with the candy store for the kids and then go shopping. They get to pick their own candy, and there's all kinds of different things you can't get at other candy stores.
Once the sugar rush kicks in, head to the Tanger Outlets, a place where you can get more bag for your buck.
Good deals, the very good deals here. We're women, we like to shop.
They got plenty of outlet stores here, so you get to take a walk, check everything out.
Last but not least, you can't miss the shops at the Row. There's one that would make even New Jersey son Bruce Springsteen proud, and a few for the rest of us. AC really does have it all.
I mean, the boardwalk and the casinos and the outlet shopping, just unreal.
We couldn't agree more.
I-Team reporter Walt Hunter went face-to-face with the councilwoman today, hoping to get some answers.
Councilwoman Brown, Walt Hunter from Channel 3.
We were waiting outside City Council chambers, hoping City Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown would provide more explanations about violations of the city's campaign finance law cited in a settlement agreement with the City Ethics Board, in which a record fine of more than $48,000 was paid.
Is this the kind of conduct you feel your constituents think they should have from somebody that's in office?
I've had a stellar ethical track record in City Council for about 12 years. And in the last 18 months, I indicated on the record that I had ethical violations.
Brown and her campaign admitting they failed to disclose scores of checks, dozens of donations, as well as using $3,300 in campaign cash to repay a personal loan.
The provisions of the Ethics Board settlement actually says that I cannot and should not really be speaking publicly in greater detail about that.
Thousands of dollars in undisclosed checks for the campaign were written under the name of Brown's campaign manager, John McDaniel, who was charged with a $100,000 fraud in this federal information filed Wednesday.
Mr. McDaniel?
McDaniel wasn't available to talk at his home. His attorney and Brown weren't commenting either.
It's very, very inappropriate for anyone, no matter what their stature, to comment.
For now, despite the admitted ethics violations and the arrest of her former campaign manager, Brown remains on council.
Does this taint the image of council?
Well, that's all relative to the person who passes judgment on council. At this point,
I'm continue to wish she can move on from that issue and continue to be a productive member of City Council.
Do you have any plans to leave office at all?
Remember Clark Griswold and his winter fantasies of a pool out the back window? Well, I give you Clark Gasho, who dreamed of a backyard ice rink. And after 2 mild winters foiled his plans, this year's deep freeze means his kids are lacing up for some hockey action right out the back door.
It's the one good thing about having this cold weather, and they are not looking forward to temperatures going up.
If you build it, they will come, and come they do. The Gasho boys, at least, the promise of a few hours on the ice winning out over even video games.
These boys have the opportunity to get out and play outside, and they take full advantage of it, and so do their friends. I tell them, like, oh, yo, we got an ice rink in our backyard, and they'd be like, oh, sweet.
Justin Gasho and his brother Ryan both play for Souderton, and the backyard rink allows them to sharpen their skills without making the drive to the rink in wintry weather.
It's really fun because we can go out whenever we want and it's free.
Well, maybe not free. First, Dad had to frame out the rink with 2x4s, then lay a tarp over it, and use the hose to flood the 30x36 area. Then it was time to let the cold do its job.
On a good day or two in this weather, freezes solid.
And with kids practicing slap shots for hours a day, a homemade Zamboni was needed to keep the ice looking fresh. As fresh as, say,
Wells Fargo Center ice, like crystal smooth.
And when the Gashos are on the ice, they're not feeling the cold.
This is how we handle the cold. We puck handle it.